Hello and welcome to Camnet TV News. To present, I'm Jeffrey Siambo. Top stories in the news: legal disputes prevent the DP from contesting KABWATA seat as UPND police confusion erupt. Fuel increment a blessing to cyclist transporters in CHIPATA. Retirees to be paid their dues beginning 2022. In international news, South African funeral workers promote vaccination. And in sports news, bankers drawn alongside North Africans in the 2022 CAF Confederations Cup.
To all our Camnet viewers, my wife and I are saying thank you for watching this broadcast. 24/7, we have tried to bring our best. We've tried to inform you, to entertain you and educate you. And to all of you that pray for this station, for all of you that watch this station, we can only say, may the Lord God Almighty be with you. Compliments of the season. May God bless you over and beyond, even in this coming year.
Well, we are grateful for all the support, as my husband has said. We realize that some of you, our dear Camnet TV viewers, it's the first time you are celebrating this season without your dear ones because they've gone to rest. To you we say, please be comforted. The Lord is still on the throne. May God richly bless you. Let's continue keeping on, and Merry Christmas with a prosperous New Year.
Keep
watching Camnet TV.
And
remember, Camnet TV is not just another channel.
Hi there, SGK Properties wants to remind you that there will be life after the festivities. That's why we are here right now presenting you an opportunity to invest in what will literally last you a lifetime. We have various plot sizes in Kabangwe area, just 6.7 kilometers from 6 miles roundabout. Plot sizes range from 20 by 20s, 25 by 20s, 30 by 20s, 35 by 20s, 40 by 20s, 40 by 23s, and 40 by 35s. We also have 1 acre plots located in Lusaka West, 22 kilometers from Lumumba Road on Mungwi Road, going for 180,000 kwacha. Remember, the option to have your dream house or passive income investment property constructed for you with modern finishes and quality care is also available. For more details on acquiring these pieces, contact us on 0762 166018 or scan the QR code you see on the screen to access us on WhatsApp directly. SGK Group, serving generations through knowledge.
Hello again, the news in detail. As people continue to express mixed reactions over the hiking of fuel prices, some bicycle transporters in CHIPATA district of the Eastern Province have expressed happiness as their business has started performing well. Speaking this morning to Camnet TV in CHIPATA, the cyclists say in the past business was difficult as most people preferred to use vehicles as a means of transportation. They say they used to make 90 kwacha in the past, but now they are able to make 120 kwacha per day. On the 16th of December 2021, the Energy Regulation Board chairperson, Mr. Reynolds Mowa, announced a price hike of petrol and diesel of 30% and 40% respectively. More in this report.
The long story of high fuel prices can be linked to the saying that what makes others cry compels others to be happy and excited. That is a way of life. There is always a way out depending on the size of your pocket under the context of survival of the fittest. It is no wonder our friends from Asia have always found a way of meeting consumer needs of different classes in the Zambian market. It is the same with the hike in the fuel price. You can choose to walk, ride, or drive based on your purchasing power. In the eastern part of Zambia, bicycles compete with motorcycles, taxis, and public service vehicles. While the price of fuel has brought agony among many people, it may not be the same for these bicycle riders in Chipata district.
At least go better, although Fakako Mafiwe Ochanchan, but at least because Yashana Nakutara, Ama Honda Mandani, Vasta depend pa fuel. So fuel moya durira manje, ngalanga tioko sa moya fakira ko kuma fuel. Then kulise wa manjinga kasi tigula fuel. At least better because yopa ila yao dura ndani mafuel yo bwanji watamangira kumanjinga.
Unlike their competitors, their advantage is that they do not depend on fuel.
Mamene fuel ya kuirera isewa manjinga tembeleza kuti kusogoro business yake isaleko ambaka kuti vama Honda na motoka mitengo ya zaidi so tembeleza kuti makastoma mambiri vasathamangirako manjinga.
Certainly, the hike in the price of fuel, much as it has negative effects, it may prove to be a festive season gift to Chipata bicycle riders. Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
Traders at Lusaka's Soweto market have seconded the demand by the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development for street vendors to vacate the streets, stating that they poach customers before they can reach legitimate markets, hence disadvantaging their businesses. In a separate interview with Camnet News, the traders say that while some legitimately do not have a market space to sell from, others have abandoned their market stands in preference for fast business in the streets. Meanwhile, Lusaka Union of Marketeers Secretary General Moffat Mangoni has advised the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development to conduct an audit of street vendors to ascertain which areas these street vendors are coming from so as to fit them into community markets in their respective areas. More in the following report.
Since the directive from the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development for street vendors to vacate the streets on 22nd December 2021, street vendors have been fighting running battles with the local authorities. Outbreaks of diseases such as cholera have been attributed to vices such as street vending due to compromised hygiene. Street vendors have also often been cited as being behind littering in central business districts of most towns. The vendors, however, have cited the lack of market space in CBDs as being the reason for their vending. Traders operating from Soweto Market have added their voice over the matter. They have bemoaned poor business due to street vendors, whom they say poach customers before they can reach markets, supporting the move for them to be removed from the streets. Others allege that some street vendors have market spaces but have abandoned markets in preference for fast business by the roadside.
Ababali kunse tabakweta pakolati apa kuikala tabakwata ma space yakolati nchende yakolati yakustisha. That's why bali balesa ngwa kuisa kuma roads so fe bali mukati business mandi nipani noshita na ikosa ba sister bandu kufite bona ikosa business
kaba mangire marketing nangu marketing ngono swanga ngene bonso singakwana. So government imange marketing so that ma street vendors whenever apezeke ponga mshemushi.
Meanwhile, Lusaka Union of Marketeers Secretary General Mr. Moffat Mangoni says there is need to know the number of street vendors in CBDs so that this can be fused into community markets. He adds that while many of them complain about the lack of market space in the CBD, many community markets are empty.
Where we should also engage, we've got street vendors cooperative in town, which can maybe assist if we engage them to help us to know how many people stays in Matelo, how many people stays in Mandevu, how many people stays in Chawama, Munadi, Mtendele. And when we know that, then it will be very good and easy for us. Also, if we can be engaged as a cooperative movement, since we are having cooperative markets in all the 7 constituencies of Lusaka, where we are saying we still have empty spaces in those markets, and we'll be able to also do a proper audit of our markets
and now collaborate with what our friends or the Lusaka City Council is going to do in town, so that we see these people are in Mtendele, we give them spaces in Mtendele. These people are in Chawama, we give them spaces in Chawama. We've got empty markets where we can take those people.
Stakeholders are seeking solutions on how best to handle the problem of street vending. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Minister of Education Douglas Yakalima has predicted a teacher deficit in the country in the next 7 years, stating that the number of citizens studying education has reduced due to limited employment opportunities in this sector. Speaking when consulting stakeholders in the education sector over the student loan system in the country, the minister says it is for this reason that the ministry cannot allow over-deployment of unemployed teachers to other countries as suggested by some stakeholders. He adds that the ministry is operating in a backlog of students who are seeking higher education loans, hence will be unable to include more students anytime soon, in line with pleas from various sectors of society. More in this report.
People have not been going to college to go and do education. So in the next, if we manage to employ all of them, tell me what happens to this country in the next 10 years. You have more teachers. Your population is growing. So there are certain things, even when people complain, they must realize to say that strategically you must start doing this. Seychelles want teachers, Germany wants teachers. If I offloaded all these teachers to go to Germany, I'll have a problem. And over the years, we have not been thinking that way. We are just thinking we have offloaded, we've trained so many teachers. And because we are not absorbing them in the teaching service, they are accumulated. Today, if we get some, there's an excitement, teachers are going to be employed, I'll have a salary now. I have a different mind of thinking. No one is being employed as a teacher. Those 30,000, that is not employment. It's to fit them to go and teach. And then a salary will follow. So this excitement who has been left, who has been what? No. As a country, we must now shift in the way we are thinking. Those teachers are required to give a service, because when we talk about quality education, it starts from a teacher. And please pardon us, Zanas, pardon us, we have to educate your little boys in the first place. That is where the seed comes from. If you have seen the emphasis, and some people are saying we are now neglecting higher education, that is not the issue. The issue is that the seed that we are planting must be nurtured. We are talking about early childhood education.
Confusion erupted during the nomination for the KABWATA constituency by-election as police asked some United Party for National Development UPND officials to leave the nomination center to avoid congestion in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. The move agitated some UPND officials who labeled some police officers as being patriotic front cadres. Meanwhile, 3 out of 10 political parties have failed to file for nominations for the KABWATA parliamentary by-election slated for the 22nd of January 2022. Those who failed include the Rainbow Party, the Democratic Party, and an independent candidate. Those who managed economic and equity parties Chilufya Tayali, the United Party for National Development's Andrew Tayengwa, UPP's Francis Libanda, Socialist Party's Trevor Ngandu, and People's Alliance for Change's Sydney Ziambo. Meanwhile, the PF has fielded Clement Tembo, while the Patriots for Economic Progress candidate is Henry Mulea. The election was necessitated by the demise of area Member of Parliament Levi Mkandawire. More in this report.
KABWATA constituency was a hive of activity as the nominations were being conducted by the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, ahead of the January 22nd poll, which was necessitated following the demise of a parliamentarian, Levi Mkandawire. Various political parties are participating in the KABWATA constituency by-election. The Rainbow Party, Democratic Party, and an independent failed to file in nominations. United Progressive Party, UPP, led by Xavier Chishimba, as a candidate who is confident of scooping the seat.
been a resident of this area. I was born, raised, and still living in this place. So I know the inside out of all the problems of KABWATA. So I know by God's grace we are winning.
I know a lot of questions have been asked to say, why did you leave PF? I want to make a clarity today. So tomorrow you don't have to call me and ask me questions.
Yes,
most of you followed my leadership. Yes. There's no day that you heard that Uncle T has been involved in fighting, in assault. He's been involved in corruption cases. No. I made a move because now it's time to join a party that has got no record of corruption at all. I don't think at any other given time you've heard of Socialist Party being involved in violence. No. It's a party free from violence.
But for the married man who was a mayoral candidate in the August 12 general election, Chirufya Tayari, he made sure that he is on the ballot. It was green when the 10 for the PF arrived at the nomination center. Songs of solidarity. After several unsuccessful attempts to be on the ballot, Clement Tembo will now represent the former ruling party, the Patriotic Front. The PF is capitalizing on some unpopular decisions that have been made by the UPND government, such as the removal of street vendors.
Just like you and me are going through so much hardship, just the 4 months that we have given the mandates to the UPND, they have turned around. They promised so many things. They promised us heaven on earth, but see what is going on. Look at what has happened to the street vendors. Okay, how do you want to chase people from the streets yet you have not provided for where to take them? Look at the bus fares. People are complaining every day. Okay, it's hard to even have 3 meals today. So we are just saying, bali tugonga, banati nama. We want the people of KABWATA constituency to show them. They came with all those sweet talks. There's a difference. We couldn't have been sweet talkers. We were practical. You saw the infrastructure, the roads and everything. Our job was to tell the people, look, we've built everything for you. But they were lying to the people that fees will be cheaper. Look at the toll gates now. Look at the toll fees.
Zambia's governing political party, the United Party for National Development, UPND's Andrew Taengwa, successfully filed in despite issues surrounding his nationality.
Born here, raised in KABWATA, have lived all my life in KABWATA. I'm a product of KABWATA, so I urge the people of KABWATA to consider seriously giving Taengwa Andrew a vote so that we can continue with the good policies that the government of UPND has for this country.
However, confusion erupted as police told some UPND officials to leave the nomination center.
And the problem is I'm the provisional chairman. I need to write my own report inside on what is happening.
I have not witnessed what you are saying, but if you did witness, I want to say it's unfortunate. And this may go to show you the amount of zeal and how much they are in a hurry to ensure that everything goes well in this election.
This agitated some UPND officials who accused some police officers of being PF cadres. Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
Meanwhile, legal disputes over the party ownership have made the Democratic Party fail to participate in the forthcoming KABWATA constituency by-election. DP Deputy National Chairperson Precious Ntambu spoke to Camnet TV News.
It's an issue of the 3 that have resorted to go rouge on us on DP. Yesterday they had brought in another candidate saying they also want to file in and that kind of thing. So today it was a different story as well, because now the ECZ had to come in. I mean, yesterday we submitted different dossiers concerning the case that is in court, which hasn't been adjudicated about. So we actually submitted the same, and we gave the same to ECZ so that they're actually guided on what happened and that kind of thing. So we were guided again this morning by the team from ECZ that they won't be able to get our nominations from Democratic Party because we have two separate candidates, and then there's still the issue that is still very much alive in court, and it hasn't been adjudicated upon. So that is what led to the issue that we're at right now.
The opposition leadership movement says it has set aside 50 million kwacha towards citizens' empowerment programs in a bid to help underprivileged citizens earn a livelihood and contribute to national development. Party President Dr. Richard Silumbe says among the programs they have started financing women and youths to venture into backyard fish farming. Speaking when he launched a project in Kitwe on the Copper Belt, Dr. Silumbe says all citizens of different classes need to contribute to national productivity. More in this report.
Available data shows that Zambia's fish consumption is currently lower than other Southern African Development Community SADC countries, 7 kilograms per person per year compared to 11 kilograms per person within the SADC region. As of 2015, Zambia's estimated fish consumption demand was 185,000 metric tons compared to a local production of 100,000 metric tons, which means that the deficit was being imported. In order to meet the local and international demand, it is advisable that more people venture into fish farming. The opposition leadership movement, as part of its empowerment initiatives, has taken a proactive approach to empower citizens. In the Copper Belt in Kitwe district, some women and youth cooperatives have been empowered to undertake backyard fish farming. They are happy that the project will help them become self-reliant.
Mr. Richard Silumbe for this initiative he has come up with. We are so happy as women of KABWATA constituents because we know that we are going to benefit a lot. You know, as women, mostly
na kuchitisha tapali ushiko ekyama twina menso tule mwana monso ngo balepitana mukutungirira abantu pamirimwe ngamwati mumone bambi kuti batira fyawo ine kama nakwata famu kumpangero nkatekesa awe isabi bateka na panganda ngafintu mwamona muri isabi so lot of fish mukati but panche ndei non so uyu musango twita encourage abantu bamo bali abashayishi babwino bushesabi kuti bateka mumwela panshi nangu panganda ifo tuletungiro kutila kuti bateka panganda fe pala peni bachitako pala baleri mu musalu ba pangapo ngafintu mumwene ifo na chituwa mine chine.
David Kalumba is the party's national chairman.
Leadership movement under the leadership of the able leader Dr. Richard Silumbe. He wants to ensure that everyone can contribute something to the development of this nation, regardless of their status, regardless of where they are coming from. As you can see, members of the press, this is Kwacha East. And this is not an Upper Mwamba area. So the people we are dealing with here, these are the people you may call the downtrodden, but they are able to contribute something as well.
Leadership Movement President Dr. Richard Silumbe has reaffirmed commitment to continue empowering citizens.
I've seen that we are here in KABWATA constituents, walking the talk. As we have been saying all the time, we don't just want to be talking, we want to walk the talk. It's about production. We know that this country can never develop for as long as we are leaving our young people, our women and children, and so many other people in the streets. We as leadership movement believe that every person, whether you are educated or uneducated, you have something to contribute to the development of this country. This is why you are seeing these empowerment programs that we are having. We want Zambians to be productive. We want everybody to participate in the development of this country.
Zambia's Republican President Hakainde Hichilema has announced that government has started paying off retirees who spent many years waiting for their pension. The head of state says his government has allocated 2.1 billion kwacha in the 2022 national budget to dismantling outstanding arrears. President Hichilema says the preoccupation of his administration is not the 2026 general election, but serving the people of Zambia. Meanwhile, the Treasury has released 837 million kwacha for the social protection programs. Secretary to the Treasury, Felix Nkulukusa, says 255 million is targeted at pensioners under the Public Service Pensions Fund, while 50 million kwacha is for those under the Local Authorities Superannuation Fund. Meanwhile, 402 million kwacha will go towards the Social Cash Transfer Program, while 1 million kwacha is for the Food Security Pack Program. The Lusaka High Court has struck out the case in which Republican President Hakainde Hichilema has sued the Attorney General claiming damages for malicious prosecution in relation to a matter where he was charged with the use of insulting language but was later acquitted. President Hichilema had commenced this case against the state during the time he was in the opposition and was claiming in an order that all non-police officers that conducted themselves in an unprofessional manner during the operation to arrest and subsequently prosecute him be surcharged. However, the court has dismissed the case on account of non-appearance from the plaintiff. More in this report.
A case that was commenced by the Republican President Hakainde Hichilema in May 2021, where he was seeking damages for malicious prosecution from the state, has been dismissed by the Lusaka High Court on account of non-availability to prosecute the case by the plaintiff. The Lusaka High Court has struck out the case from the active cause list with liberty to restore it within 30 days. President Hakainde Hichilema had sued the state when he was an opposition leader in relation to what had occurred on the night of 11th April 2017, when he was arrested by the police on allegation of use of insulting language, but later acquitted. He was further seeking interest on any amount found due, cost and any other relief the court may deem fit. According to his statement of claim that he had filed before the Lusaka High Court earlier this year, President Hichilema had stated that on April 10, 2017, several officers from the Zambia Police Service wrongfully and forcefully gained entrance into his home to arrest him without warrant in an operation that lasted until the next day. But the state had argued that Mr. Hichilema's arrest and prosecution was lawful without any ill will. Further, that the police conducted themselves professionally during the operation and operation was therefore not oppressive and unconstitutional. On the other hand, the state had admitted to some of the claims by President Hichilema were accurate, but only to the extent that an operation was conducted by the Zambia police. For now, this case stands dismissed until the plaintiff decides to restore it. But according to our country's constitution, the president cannot sue anyone or be sued. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Lusaka High Court Judge Lamek Mwale has sentenced opposition Patriotic Front supporter Weluzani Banda to 10 years imprisonment with hard labor for shooting twice a United Party for National Development UPND Chawama's Lilai Ward 4 youth chairperson. This is in a matter in which the convict is said to have shot twice Mr. Joseph Luimba during the 12th August 2021 general elections when PF and UPND cadres clashed at one of the polling centers in Chilanga. Mr. Banda was slapped with one count of attempted murder and had pleaded not guilty. When the matter came up this morning, Judge Mwale found him guilty and wondered why politics should lead one to such an extent. More in this report.
For Joseph Luimba, a United Party for National Development Chawama's Lilai Ward 4 youth chairperson, the 28th of December 2021 is the day that justice has prevailed in his case.
I'm very much happy for the sentence. They've sentenced him 10 years in imprisonment. With hard labor starting from today. Yeah. So I'm appealing to all Zambians to be much careful when we come to politics. We should not kill each other. We are Zambians.
But for his shooter, Weluzani Banda, a Patriotic Front supporter, this day is his worst nightmare, as he will have to spend 10 years of his life behind a correctional facility for the offense of attempted murder. The Lusaka High Court has sentenced Mr. Banda to 10 years imprisonment with hard labor after finding him guilty for the said offense. This attempted murder case dates back to the 12th of August 2021 general elections when UPND and PF cadres clashed in Chilanga at Jaika polling station. During trial, Mr. Banda, who had pleaded not guilty, testified that he acted in self-defense. He had further told the court that he had no intentions of killing or shooting at any person, but did that because he was afraid of the way that they started beating him, and following a report he heard that some UPND cadres had killed someone in Solwezi. Mr. Banda's conviction has been served as a lesson to political parties fond of engaging in violence.
Those that are still thinking that engaging yourself in violence is the most important thing, the way to go. That's not true. What we have to do is to go as politicians, to go to the people and tell them things that you want to do for them when you are actually into office, not rather than engaging yourselves in violence. That is very, very bad. And we are very happy that justice has prevailed.
Somehow it was political. Actually, it has some of political. It's a kind. So today the judgment has come at the right time that, whereas on Banda, that time being a PF muscle, today the law has played its law. So I've seen a big difference from that time when PF was in power and in the new dawn, whereby the rule of law is at its course.
Miriam Kemba reporting for Camnet TV News.
You're watching Camnet TV News and not just another channel. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more news after the break.
It's your time to get to groove and step back to school in 2022 in magnificent style. Hurry to your nearest Bata store anywhere in Zambia and get a free Sparrow notebook for every pair of Bata school shoes you purchase. Promotion runs until the 31st of January 2022. Hurry while stocks last. T's and C's apply.
On behalf of the nation, I've now entered into a covenant, Lord, with the living God. I further declare that Zambia is a Christian nation.
It's our 30 years anniversary. Zambia is celebrating 30 years of being a covenanted nation. The National Organizing Committee for this commemoration invites all the church mother bodies, the public and private sector, non-governmental organizations, and the proud and free Zambians to our 2021 commemorations tagged Celebrating and Understanding the Priestly and Kingly Mandate. This will be happening on the 29th of December 2021 at the Murangushi International Conference Center. Time is from 14 hours to 1600 hours. This program is sponsored by the Advocates for the Declaration of Zambia as a Christian Nation and the Government of the Republic of Zambia. Those attending are advised to follow the COVID-19 guidelines. Remember, we are celebrating and understanding the priestly and kingly mandate. See you there.
Deborah, have you connected to the Wi-Fi on the bus? It's fast, it's amazing. I've just downloaded my books and I'm about to complete the series. It's nice, Chumi.
No, I'm actually watching a reality show. He's about to propose. Oh, so sweet.
Make your trip seem short yet comfortable and safe when you use the UBZ luxurious fully air-conditioned coaches that come fitted with amazing onboard entertainment, passenger information services, coffee-making facilities and fridge for your hot and cold beverages, free and uninterrupted Wi-Fi for your gadgets, phone charging facilities, comfortable seats that recline to offer extra resting posture, safety seat belts, adjustable reading lights for each traveling client, and of course, clean flushing toilets for your convenience. So travel in luxury and safety with UBZ luxurious coaches. UBZ will always take you there.
Your skin is the biggest muscle in your body. That's why we make sure that Oracle is #1 when it comes to taking care of your precious skin. Oracle Pure Petroleum Jelly and Glycerin soothes, moisturizes and keeps your skin perfect. Oracle Pure Petroleum Products for that perfect skin.
Welcome back. We continue with the news. Some deaf Lusaka residents say the Ministry of Health is not doing enough sensitization on COVID-19 vaccination amongst the deaf community. In an interview with Camnet News, the residents say they are still in the dark as to whether COVID-19 vaccination is safe for human consumption or not. Meanwhile, Zambia National Deaf Association President James Kapembwa has challenged the Ministry of Health to come up with drastic measures that will see COVID-19 messages conveyed in an effective way. More in the following report.
Millions of people across the world live with disabling hearing loss. The vast majority live in low and middle-income countries where they often do not have access to appropriate ear and hearing care services. Globally, 1.5 billion people live with some degrees of hearing loss, out of which around 430 million people require integration services for their hearing loss. Camnet TV caught up with some Lusaka residents who have disabling hearing loss. They have disclosed how difficult it has been to understand the COVID-19 vaccination process.
Me, I've not yet received the vaccination for COVID because I'm scared of the vaccination. Some people, they are saying that if the vaccination is bad, so for me, I'm scared. I can't be vaccinated, no. About the awareness, for me, no. They are not doing enough. We are just waiting, we are just hearing that they will come, but people are being vaccinated, but I don't have more information.
They have added that they are afraid of getting the COVID-19 jab.
About the COVID, they said that all must be vaccinated, all people must be vaccinated. But people around, they are still getting sick. Some have got sugar, some people, their bodies are not okay. So now if they get vaccinated, they will die. Before vaccination, I think they need to scrutinize somebody. They need to see how their bodies, whether they are healthy, whether they need to be vaccinated before they eat.
Meanwhile, Zambia National Deaf Association President has appealed to the Ministry of Health to sensitize more on the COVID-19 vaccination, especially in the deaf community.
Vaccination, they are still in fear because they think that if they are being vaccinated, they can die. Or if they are being vaccinated, they can be joined into Satanism, which means we need more work. We need more work, we need more awareness to our deaf friends so that they can accept the vaccination. And it's good if they are vaccinated, which means that they will be protected from COVID. Lack of information makes things hard for the deaf community. Our friends, very few of them have information about the vaccination. So many of the deaf members are still in fear. They haven't been vaccinated.
Without suitable interventions, hearing loss poses a significant challenge in the lives of those affected. Blessings Chakwila, Camnet News, Lusaka.
The Pharmaceutical Society of Zambia has called on government to provide policy direction in recognizing, regulating and integrating of traditional and complementary medicine in the national health system. Addressing the media Tuesday, Association President Kennedy Saini says there are no systems for licensing or tracking traditional healers or their products, hence the need to stop advertising such products. Mr. Saini has expressed disappointment that media, both mainstream and online, are littered with advertisements on traditional medicines without proper regulations. More in this report.
The year 2021 has been marred with a lot of happenings in the health sector, some of which includes the procurement of substandard drugs, the sale of uncertified medicine, the abuse of skin bleaching creams, among others. The Pharmaceutical Society of Zambia has since raised concerns at some happenings and wants some of the mistakes to be ratified. While the country has no laws that regulate traditional healers, Association President Kennedy Saini has called upon the authorities to quickly provide policy direction to recognize, regulate and integrate traditional and complementary medicines and products and practices in the overall national health system.
We have no system of licensing or tracking these traditional healers or their products. If there's any, it is not formal and well done. And this leads to a lot of unsubstantiated claims that are made both in public media, on social media, on radio, and so on. Now, as a professional body, we are saying there is need to put a stop to this.
Among other things, the association is concerned at some illegal advertisement of various drinks, foodstuffs and well-packaged medicines without market authorization or approval from the National Medicine Regulation, with labels claiming to cure a wide range of diseases to the unsuspecting members of the public.
This increase of illegal advertisement in drinks, foodstuffs and other items without approval from ZAMRA, with label claims of curing a wide range of diseases and duping and suspecting people, a lot of money needs to come to a stop.
The association is concerned at the rampant abuse of skin bleaching and lightening products that contain potentially harmful ingredients such as mercury and steroids being sold indiscriminately on the market.
PSZ once again is making an earnest appeal to the general public to avoid cosmetics with such ingredients, as they have a potential to cause irreparable damage to the skin. We further urge authorities to either restrict their supply or ban some of these toxic products.
The association has since emphasized the need for viable pharmaceutical manufacturing plants to be set up in strategic provincial locations across the country. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
The Zambia Environmental Management Agency has noted the need for a consultative process that will permanently address the e-waste problem in the country. Responding to a recent IPEN report, ZEMA Principal Information and Communications Officer Friday Piri says the findings on plastic pollution are alarming, hence the need for a collaborative response to curb the vice. Meanwhile, earlier, the Center for Zero Waste and Development in Africa called for a total eradication of the use of plastics as part of the resolution in the forthcoming United Nations Environment Assembly UNEA in February 2022. More in this report.
As countries are anticipated to meet for the United Nations Environment Assembly to discuss a global instrument on plastics largely focused on waste and marine litter in February 2022, the need to curb all forms of pollution, especially in the plastic industry, can never be emphasized. The recent study by the International Pollutant Elimination Network, IPEN, in collaboration with International Pellet Watch, IPWU, revealed the dangers posed by the recycled plastic pellets that eventually makes the product of these pellets unsuitable for use by end users. Earlier, the Center for Zero Waste and Development in Africa called for a total eradication of the use of plastics in the country so as to protect the Zambian people.
The type of the plastic that we are looking at, the HDPEs, is that they are widely used by consumers, and these are the ones that you find in the packaging system. For example, so you find them, the buckets that you use, and most of the household things that you use. And in the products, most are packaged using the HDPE type of plastics, and that is why the study specifically shows that the consumers are exposed to chemicals that they don't know.
In response to that call, during an exclusive interview with Camnet TV, ZEMA Principal Information and Communications Officer Friday Piri says the findings on the plastic pollution are alarming, hence the need for a collaborative response to curb the vice.
What plastic does or what it has brought about on our environment. And like I said, at the expense of repeating myself, this is why government came up with that law. So in terms of policy direction, whether I know Mr. Lombe of Zero Waste is not the only one who is advocating for a total ban of plastic bags or plastic material, as it were. There are several other stakeholders that also have voiced out their concerns. I think that is left to government because we are not a policy body. Our role is at a technical level, and I think the extended producer responsibility, if well enforced, it has the capacity to bring down the challenges of pollution in the country.
Mr. Piri has since noted the need for a consultative process by policymakers that will permanently address the e-waste problem in the country.
As and when government finds it worthy that they should ban plastic completely, they will certainly consult stakeholders, and Zero Waste and others who have voiced out their concerns will certainly be consulted. Just like the extended producer responsibility law, before it was put in place, government consulted widely. Various stakeholders were involved, even reaching consensus to say we shouldn't ban completely, but we should put standards, like the standard that has been put on plastic, that anything below 30 microns in thickness should not be manufactured, should not be traded.
With much evidence coming to light in the new studies indicating the threats of plastic pollution to humanity, especially to low and middle income countries, is what seems to be the only way forward. Alex Shimba, Camnet News in Lusaka.
Government has directed all water utility companies to scale up service delivery by improving the treatment of water to required standards. Minister of Water Development and Sanitation, Mike Mposha, says the Zambian citizens are demanding for clean and safe drinking water, and hence the need to upscale the supply and treatment of the commodity. The minister, who was speaking in Kitwe Tuesday when he called on the district commissioner, says President Hakainde Hichilema has placed high premium on the provision of improved water and sanitation services. And Kitwe District Commissioner Lawrence Mwanza has told the minister that vandalism of water infrastructure is rampant in the district.
All this is being done to ensure that we improve where we can in terms of ensuring that people have universal access to water, not only just water, but clean and safe water, but as well as issues of sanitation. In particular, at this point when we are faced with the coronavirus challenges, we want to ensure that our people have improved hours of supply of water, which, as you know, the issues of hygiene are very key in the fight of COVID-19. So we want to ensure that Copper Belt, which is one of our very, very important provinces, we must be on top of things in terms of as a ministry, but also our utility companies, to ensure that in the midst of these challenges, we should improve the treatment of water, but we should also improve the supply of water to our people.
You're watching Camnet TV. We'll take a break. We'll be back with international and sports news.
For over 24 years now, we have constantly been working to ensure that we deliver products and services to communities, cities, nations, the continent, and the world at large, offering solutions in the energy sector, mining, telecommunications, health, transport, construction, cybersecurity, agriculture, and printing. Savenda has been at the core of it all in ensuring that it helps in bringing social and economic development to its loving people. We value your support, and as we look forward to the year ahead, would like to thank you for the support you have given us. The Savenda Group of Companies board, management and staff would like to wish you a Merry Christmas and a prosperous 2022. Savenda, Save Nations, Develop Africa.
Team, the trajectory of the business looks very positive, and it looks like we'll be able to launch the... She has so much data.
Mom?
Yes, baby?
It says here, global warming and climate change is caused by the pollution from careless activities of human beings.
Wow!
Son, do you know I can turn my phone into a TV remote?
How's that possible?
It's so easy. Check this out.
Be smart, be fast with mega data from Zamtel. Get your 15 GB mobile data for only 100 kwacha, 30 GB mobile data for only 200 kwacha, and your 70 GB LTE data bundle with free Netflix, YouTube, Facebook, and WhatsApp. Visit our Facebook page, website, or service centers countrywide for more information. Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
On behalf of the nation, I have now entered into a covenant, Lord, with the living God. I further declare that Zambia is a Christian nation.
It's our 30 years anniversary. Zambia is celebrating 30 years of being a covenanted nation. The National Organizing Committee for this commemoration invites all the church mother bodies, the public and private sector, non-governmental organizations, and the proud and free Zambians to our 2021 commemorations tagged Celebrating and Understanding the Priestly and Kingly Mandate. This will be happening on the 29th of December 2021 at the Mulungushi International Conference Center. Time is from 14 hours to 1600 hours. This program is sponsored by the Advocates for the Declaration of Zambia as a Christian Nation and the Government of the Republic of Zambia. Those attending are advised to follow the COVID-19 guidelines. Remember, we are celebrating and understanding the priestly and kingly mandate. See you there.
Hi there, SGK Properties wants to remind you that there will be life after the festivities. That's why we are here right now presenting you an opportunity to invest in what will literally last you a lifetime. We have various plot sizes in Kabangwe area, just 6.7 kilometers from 6 miles roundabout. Plot sizes range from 20 by 20s, 25 by 20s, 30 by 20s, 35 by 20s, 40 by 20s, 40 by 23s, and 40 by 35s. We also have 1 acre plots located in Lusaka West, 22 kilometers from Lumumba Road on Mungwi Road, going for 180,000 kwacha. Remember, the option to have your dream house or passive income investment property constructed for you with modern finishes and quality care is also available. For more details on acquiring these pieces, contact us on 0762 166018 or scan the QR code you see on the screen to access us on WhatsApp directly. SGK Group, serving generations through knowledge.
Welcome back. And in international news, in South Africa, funeral workers and directors have taken to the streets to promote vaccination against COVID-19. With a population of over 60 million people, the pandemic has already claimed over 90,000 lives and more than 3 million cases. In other news, Libyan lawmakers who met on Monday to examine the issue that forced a postponement of the presidential elections recommended laying out an applicable roadmap. On Monday, Libyan legislators met to tackle the challenges that led to the postponement of the long-awaited presidential elections this month. They discussed numerous issues but did not address the Electoral Commission proposal to hold elections on Monday, January 24. Here's a roundup of international news.
In South Africa, funeral workers and directors have taken to the streets to promote vaccination against coronavirus. With a population of over 60 million people, the pandemic has already claimed over 90,000 lives and more than 3 million cases.
It's not a good thing when we see life perishing. So that is part of our initiative today. We are urging our people to come through, to say, be here, vaccinate, save a life. As I alluded to the 3 waves that we had, this wave that we are talking about, I can tell you that the infection rate is very high, but the death rate is very low, which then demonstrates that vaccinations are actually the answer to our country.
Inconvenience and vaccine hesitancy are the main obstacles. The authorities have responded by adding vaccination sites in busy areas.
we want to achieve is at least 90% of the people in Soweto to vaccinate. We are back to normal if they do that, and the economy will go back to normal. Because Soweto by its own is the hub of the economy in Gauteng.
Only 40% of the adult population in South Africa is fully vaccinated. The country has one of the highest rates of vaccination on the continent.
Libyan lawmakers met on Monday to examine the issues that forced the postponement of the presidential elections. They did not address the Electoral Commission's proposal to reschedule the vote for January, but recommended to lay out a roadmap. In today's session, a number of reports were examined regarding the problems and obstacles that faced the electoral process and that it was not possible to hold the elections on time on December 24. Especially the reports on the Parliamentary Committee in charge of communicating with the Commission and identifying these obstacles. The House of Representatives decided to summon the President and members of the High National Elections Commission to listen to them in the next session, God willing, about all these obstacles, these reports and what they contain about the electoral process. Obstacles on the road to balloting are a long-running rift between the country's east and west and the presence of thousands of foreign fighters and troops supporting either side.
After 5 years and several false starts, the Dakar Regional Express train is finally going to run. This is a historic day for Senegal and a resounding success for the regime of Macky Sall, who has made it one of the symbols of his second term. The project will transport 115,000 passengers, and we are honored to be among its first passengers. It's 2:15 here in Dakar, and the first train has already set off. 10 minutes later, the second train followed with a few privileged people on board. Certainly, it is a journey for the history books, but above all, a feeling of shared pride. I think it's a dream come true. A lot of people didn't believe in it, but we are very happy to be among the people who go down in railway history. This inaugural trip gives an idea of the importance that the TER will have on the transport system. It only took about an hour and a quarter to cover the 35-kilometer route between Dakar and Diamniadio. This is far from the 20 minutes announced. What I like most is the reduction in vehicle congestion and the time people used to waste on the road. Now, any inhabitant of Dakar who is going to leave the suburbs can get to the city center in record time with a level of safety that we could not imagine. With a frequency of 6 trains per hour and a speed of 16 kilometers per hour, the TER will initially serve 13 stations between Dakar and the new town of Diamniadio.
It's now time for sports news. In sports news, Zanaco have been grouped with the 2021 CAF Confederations Cup quarterfinalists SC Sfaxien of Tunisia and semi-finalists Pyramids FC of Egypt in Group A of the 2022 edition of the tournament. According to the draws conducted at the CAF headquarters in Cairo, Egypt, the bankers will also have to negotiate their way past Ali Tripoli of Libya for the 2 available quarterfinal slots in Group A. Kelvin Kaindu's men will begin their campaign away against SC Sfaxien on 13 February before hosting Pyramids FC 7 days later. The bankers will make another North African trip to Libya to face Ali Tripoli on 27 February on match day 3 before hosting the North Africans in a reverse fixture on the 13th of March 2022. The last set of matches will take place on the 20th of March at home against SC Sfaxien and the 3rd of April in Egypt, where Zanaco will wrap up their Group A campaign against Pyramids. Meanwhile, Chipolo Polo midfielder Rally Walia will face off with countrymate and former Simba SC teammate Cletus Chota Chama after Simba were placed in Group D with RS Bakken of Morocco. In the CAF Champions League, Chipolopolo midfielder Augustine Molenga's Amazulu are in Group B with 2021 CAF Confederations Cup champions Raja Casablanca of Morocco, Horoya SC of Guinea and ES Setif of Algeria. That sporting note brings us to the end of the news, but we'll take a look at the headlines once again. Legal disputes prevent the DP from contesting KABWATA seat as UPND and police confusion erupt. Fuel increment a blessing to cyclist transporters in CHIPATA. Retirees to be paid their dues beginning 2022. In international news, South African funeral workers promote vaccination. And in sports news, bankers drawn alongside North Africans in the 2022 CAF Confederations Cup. When I look at the Camnet verse for the day, coming from Psalms 23, verse 1 to 3, the Lord is my shepherd, there is nothing I lack. He lets me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He renews my life. He leads me along the right paths for his name's sake. Thank you for watching Camnet News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Bye-bye.